Hey guys, check this out. So today I got a special video for you all. I'm going to be doing a drive and ride review of this brand new Super Duty with a BDS lift kit on 38-inch tires. So let's get at this. Let's start this thing out with a little cold start. So this is a 6.7 liter high output Powerstroke, 500 horsepower, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. And this one has had a pretty serious upgrade in suspension. This has a BDS lift kit with not only 38-inch tires on a 22-inch rim with Nitto Ridge Grapplers, but it's also got these new BDS lower control arms with new springs and a Fox 2.0 suspension that I believe is custom valved for their lift kit. And you have the same shocks in the rear. Just check that out real quick. Got the same shocks in the rear. This truck actually, from the factory, is kind of a special F-250 in the aspect that this is a high trailer tow capacity package, which is specific for an F-250. You can't get this feature on an F-350. And you could ask, what is that feature? Well, you get an upgraded hitch, a little bit higher capacity there. You get the overload springs in the rear, which you can see here. You wouldn't have this on an F-250. Plus you get a little bit different dampening in the front and rear from the factory. Now, this does have an aftermarket lift kit, so some of that is different, but it still retains the overload springs in the rear. But check out these XD rims. There is a lot of money in this lift kit and rims and tires. What I'm curious today, what we'll see, is how does this truck ride and drive, and how does it do on the fuel economy loop? I don't plan to spend a whole lot of time on the actual review of this truck because I have dozens of F-250 Lariat videos I've done in the past. I haven't driven a high output diesel in a little bit of time, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how much more powerful it is versus my Cummins. This truck is also outfitted with the AMP Research power boards. And one thing I noticed about these boards that I like more, the Ford factory running boards, watch this. Watch how fast these things come down. I like this a lot better already down, before you even already got the door completely open. Here's another thing I like more. Notice there's no chrome. If you have the factory running board, you actually get chrome there. Kind of see this thing just went into the high idle, which is a pretty nice feature the Powerstroke has. A lot of the manufacturers are now offering this. This has the 2.5-inch hitch, 7-pin. It's got the fifth wheel prep with the Ford factory spray and bed liner. Got the chrome exhaust tip. Take a look at the window sticker. You can see there's almost $11,000 in upgrades on this truck between the wheels, the tires, the suspension, the radius arms, and on the running boards. This truck also comes equipped with the wheel well liners front and rear. Just kind of get the nice plastic liner. No surprise, these trucks are really nice if you haven't been in a new Super Duty. Panoramic sunroof. Let's see what the payload is on an F-250. Not bad, 3,030 pounds. And this is all part of the changes that Ford made with the higher GVWs. Let this thing warm up a little bit before we go for a quick drive and do our mile per gallon loop. I love the steering wheel on the new Super Duties. Really nice truck. I actually misspoke earlier. This truck is a Lariat non-ultimate, so it does not have the heads-up display. But other than that, I mean, it's still got heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. You still got your drive modes, still got your trailer brake controller, still got this awesome panoramic sunroof, really nice leather seats. Still got the dual glove boxes, top and bottom. Huge storage in the middle. Ford does a good job with that. You still get magnetic charger. You still get the cover. Let's see if we got 360 cameras. Yep, still got the 360 camera too. Huge display too, very nice with the B&O sound system. All right, we're gonna reset our trip here, reset our fuel economy. Curious what the tire pressure's at. 60, 65 PSI, and let's go for a quick little loop. We're also gonna set our drive mode to eco. All right, let's go. First impressions. I don't think the ride or drive or perceived vibration, feeling in the seat, and this road is horrible. Expansion joints everywhere. Doesn't feel any different than a stock height Super Duty. That's impressive. It's kind of funny. Besides feeling higher off the ground, it doesn't feel like it rides or drives any different. I don't even notice any difference as far as, you know, steering wander. This thing drives and rides and steers and tracks much better than my Ram with only a 2-inch leveling kit on it. Pretty impressive, actually. Man, the trans tuning on this feels great. Considering the truck hasn't learned a strategy yet as far as specific to my style of driving, I'm really impressed with how smooth out of the gate this transmission feels. If you haven't had a chance to drive a high output Powerstroke and you're in the market for a heavy duty diesel, I highly recommend giving it a go. It's incredible the power these things have. Just doing moderate acceleration, trying to keep it below 2,000 RPMs. The one thing that surprises me after having a high output diesel myself in my 2023 Tremor is how easy this diesel engine revs up. It's not like a traditional engine that struggles to hit high RPMs. It feels like a much more sporty, free revving diesel engine, which is nice if you're not familiar with that. This thing just wants to go. So the speedometer is off a little bit. That's got to be calibrated, but at 64 miles per hour on the actual speedometer, we're sitting at 70 by GPS. So we'll factor that into our fuel economy as well. But you can kind of see what kind of fuel economy you can get with these big diesels lifted. This is where you get a huge benefit lifting a diesel versus lifting a gas engine. It's much more efficient on fuel. Rides and drives good. I don't notice anything really worse than a standard Super Duty. So here's a flat. We're hovering around 72 miles per hour right now. And you can see at this speeds, no hypermiling, no one in front of us, no cruise. We're still getting like 20 plus miles per gallon, maybe even 21, 22. That doesn't even include the correction factor. So you're talking like 22 miles per gallon on a truck with 38-inch tires. That's incredible. We're coming up on the halfway point now. Let's turn the engine brake on just to see how does the engine brake work with a truck that's lifted on 38-inch tires. I don't think it's any different. I don't know it any better or worse, which is a good thing. You can kind of know what to expect. It's definitely slowing us down without much effort. So I mean, just check out the steering wheel, check out and listen to the feedback and road noise. These tires make less road noise than the factory Duratrax by a long shot on the Tremor. I mean, if I was gonna get another Tremor, this would be a tire I'd consider. I cannot get over how much less road noise there is on this tire than the Duratrax. Very impressed with that. As I've said it in other videos before, the high output Powerstroke really impresses me. The fuel economy, the performance, I see no downside to it. Is it $2,500 more? For sure. But when you start thinking these trucks are all $80,000, $100,000, that difference isn't really hardly noticeable in a payment or even paying for it. But the power, the fuel economy, it just seems incredible. The way it revs up, and you know down the road, resale will be better with the high output, being that it's more limited, and everybody wants the most power. So being able to do the loop I do, I get to go east and west on the highway, and I'm guessing today there was a bit of an east wind because we got about 4 or 5 miles per gallon better going the opposite direction. So this is why we do this, because we're trying to make it fair and honest and repeatable by including some variables where you get 2 different directions. In all the miles I had with my 2023 Super Duty, I never used this calm screen. Check that out. How basic is that? Your destination will empty on the left and your speed on the right. I like that. All right, so let's pull this back in and see how it did on the loop. And there we go, 16.5 miles per gallon. And that's without a 10% correction factor. So that would be adding another 1.65 miles per gallon onto 16.5, which gets you almost 18.2 miles per gallon. Considering this truck's on 38-inch tires and lifted, like I think it's either a 4 or 6-inch lift kit, that's incredible. Another perspective I forgot to include, I've done multiple Tremor stock that have gotten 17.9 to 18.5 miles per gallon on that same loop, as well as my Cummins on a 35-inch tire. So for this thing to get 18.2 miles per gallon, super impressed. It's more proof of what I've been saying from the beginning of my channel, is how incredibly efficient the high output Powerstroke is. This is the first time I've driven a lifted new 2023 Super Duty high output diesel, and I have to say I'm really impressed. This BDS lift kit rides and drives great. You know, these trucks being 1 tons and 3/4 tons, they ride stiff because they're made for carrying a lot of weight and towing heavy trailers. This thing, I didn't notice any different ride characteristics than a standard Super Duty. And I like the poke. The back spacing on these is not that much more than stock, but it gives it just enough poke to toughen it up and give it an aggressive stance. These Nitto Ridge Grapplers, very impressive. These things ride no different, in my opinion, than the Duratrack, but road noise considerably quieter. For that reason alone, I would go with these tires next on another trimmer. If I ordered one, I'd replace them immediately, because I'm just not a big fan of the Duratrack for road noise. They're just annoying. I didn't notice any vibration with them. Also, for another reference, look how small that Lightning looks next to this beast. What's even more funny is check out this Maverick right next to it. That's hilarious. The full range of Ford trucks right there. So if you're interested in this truck, Bob Maxey wants to move this thing. These guys have this thing. I'll leave Josh's information down below, but this is one bad truck. And if you have any qualifying offers or anything else that, as far as a plan or whatnot, I'm sure they'll qualify and include you guys for everything. They've always treated me pretty fair. This is a nice truck, guys, and I can definitely say I'm impressed with how this lifted truck drives. I want to thank Bob Maxey for giving me the opportunity to do this review for you guys. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, feel free to give me a like. Thanks, and have a great day.